Hello and welcome to Memory Bank. This is the podcast where I ask my friends about the past and the future. Today is this is episode 13, first of all, and today I now have a new friend and also roommate of mine, Caden. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Ozzy?
I have been doing very well. Finally been getting my college work out of the way, because I think it's like this month and the next month and it's finals. So
Something like that.
yeah, I don't know how you're looking towards it, but it's like I'm a little nervous, but I think I'll perform.
Yeah, I did a little bit of procrastinating this week, so
Yeah, fair enough.
this weekend I have some work to knock out.
Yeah, same here. So we're in the same boat. But yeah, episode 13. I wanted to know, have you done anything like this before?
No,
No, okay. Never been on a podcast, never talked. Okay, but that's all right. That's perfect. I think
I've talked before, just
are you sure?
never on a podcast. I
Are you,
can't remember actually.
you can't remember the last when's the last time you've spoken?
Probably a minute ago.
Okay, that's a lot longer than I would have thought. But doesn't matter. So the whole point of this podcast is for us to reflect on the past and also have fun predictions for our future. And yeah, so I'll just head right into it. Let's start off with your past here. Um, I don't know how you ever feel about your past, but I'm gonna give some context. I feel like whenever it comes to the past, another thing that a lot of people like to keep in mind, or like there's so much to do in life. That's something I do want to bring up. There's so much to just do, and with that is why time is so important to people. I feel like there's not enough time to do everything, but there are just those activities that are just so fun you lose track of time, if you know what I mean. So the question I wanted to ask to you is like, what were those activities where you just easily lost track of time to the point where you're looking at your clock and you're like, that's my entire game, that's just my entire day done.
Yeah. Um. So things that have made me lose track of time, I'd say have to be making music. I I'm inconsistent with it, but if I'm on a roll, my entire day will blow by, or my entire night will blow by, and
Wow.
Um, I know I sometimes forget to eat because of it.
Oh
If I'm just
wow.
like playing piano or making music or something.
See, I knew you played the piano because I'd hear you. I didn't realize that you were like actually making music. I thought you were like learning songs, but that's your own creations.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't tell too many people because I get nervous about it, to be honest.
Oh,
But
why? What makes you nervous about it?
what makes me nervous about it is that I don't think a lot of people will like the music I make. And I keep thinking that, oh, I'll just tell people about my music when it's good enough and I'm proud of it. But
Yeah, that takes
I
a
don't
long
know
time
when
in
that day will
itself.
come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand that. I feel like that's just like an artist type of thing. What no matter what kind of artist you are, because I feel like I've had that mentality even like because I used to be a doodler, so it's like I'd always like to like show art to people as a kid, but like now that I'm like grown up, I don't doodle, of course, as much anymore. But
Hmm.
I definitely was in that mindset where I was like trying to take art a little bit more seriously, where I was just like I'm not like happy with anything that I'm making that I would show anybody. I don't know if I'd show anybody or tell anybody about this. I'd rather keep it to myself and wait for it to be good.
Hmm.
But at the same time, it's like I always forget like to think about how I would react to myself in that situation, and to from me to you, I think I'd love to hear it because I already hear it through your walls. They sound like I thought like me literally thinking that you're learning songs in its own. I think is a bit impressive because I was like, oh, okay, that's just a because it sounds like a legitimate song. So I'd
Well,
always like,
thank you.
yeah, because I hear them sometimes through the walls because you live in my walls.
I do live in your walls.
Yeah, I live in yours too, so it works out evenly.
Yeah.
But yeah, is this like a more recent activity that has been having you lose a lot of time, or has it been just like a majority of your life kind of thing? Like you've always been doing this?
I've been I started making music
Hmm.
by about 4 years ago, but
Ooh,
it's very like I said, I'm inconsistent about it.
yeah.
Sometimes I won't, like, open up any I use FL Studio, and sometimes I won't open up FL Studio for, like, a month or a couple weeks or something like that, Or even if I do open up, it'll just be like for 30 minutes or an hour or something. But other times it's like, oh, I will spend 8 hours today on it, and just
Wow.
because I'm working on something and everything's rolling.
Do you have any
So it heavily varies.
do you have anything that you would be willing or ready to show like not like on the podcast, but like just in general, like do you have anything that you're like proud of yet in your creation over the 4
I do
years?
have some things I'm proud of, even though I'm still super nervous about them. But I'd happily send you a link to some songs.
Oh, wow. I would love to listen.
Awesome.
But yeah, I think my answer for this went a bit more back in time than 4 years. So mine will be a little bit different, and we can talk about maybe some other stuff as well, because I also like to give my own
Oh, there's
answers.
a ton of things that I lose track of
Oh
time. Video
yeah.
games is probably number one,
Oh,
but
big shot for me too. Like
that has to be number one.
that, you literally nailed my answer, but I went a little bit more specific with me.
Yeah, yeah.
In middle school, it was Minecraft. It was Minecraft. I would uh eat, sleep Minecraft for days on end during middle school, and just remembering the times as I go back, just playing with friends or just on my own, just waking up at like 11 o'clock in the morning just to figure out that it's 11 o'clock at night. Like, I just would have those days where I played nothing but Minecraft on end. Another game that I was terrible with in terms of time management was Little Big Planet.
Little Big Planet. Whoa, that
Yes.
is extremely throwback.
Oh yeah. That was, I think, also middle school, or no, that was late elementary school going into middle school. That was like my little, cuz my dad had a PS. Oh, I forgot what Little Big Planet was on. Is it the PS3 or the PS4?
I think PS3.
Okay, then my dad had a PS3, and Little Big Planet was one of the games he just ever so conveniently had. And um actually, was he no, I don't even think it was my dad, funny enough. It was either I think it was actually my stepmom or stepbrother at the time. But anyway, my whole point here is that we had Little Big Planet, and I just decided to load up the game, and I I would just play that game on hours end. I would play that games for so long, and then when Little Big Planet 2, I figured out about Little Big Planet 2, I got my family to convince them to get that game, and we played so much Little Big Planet 2. That, like, those games,
Is it multiplayer? I never played those games.
yes, it goes up to
So
4.
who'd you play with?
Uh I we so the funny thing is the PS3 only had one controller.
Okay.
So it was one of those things where me and my brother were constantly timing each other for turns.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah, it would, because there was a lack of things to do in the house. I think it was like there was a laptop in the PS3, so me and my brother would just switch on that, and of course that would start spark arguments because
Of course.
yeah, so because we were timing each other.
My
But
brother and I would have a thing called starters turns. And basically, how that came about is because I would see him playing a game, or he would see me playing a game, and we would just like set it up and bring out the GameCube and plug everything in and put the game in. We'd start playing, and like the second we play, the other person, one of us, either me or Jay, we walk in and are like, "Oh, I'll have next turn. After you die, I'll have next turn." And it's like, "What? No, that's no fair. I just set up the game, and like I'm the one who started getting it out. I deserve more turns." So we invented starters turns. So it's like if you're the one who set it up and like started the game, then you get like, I don't know, like 3 or 5 turns before you start switching every other.
oh,
So that
that's
kind of
that's
helped.
that's funny, like a little safety cushion.
Yeah.
That's smart.
So
Maybe
you could just go in and poach your brother's game.
how old were you guys when you came up with that system?
I don't know. I was probably in like 5th grade or something like that. He's
Dude,
4 years older than me.
you guys were so mature for fifth grade, dude. Me and my brother would just punch each other and just say, "Get off." Yeah, no, like that's smart as hell. Wow, never. Yeah, that is a really good system that I would. I wish
It
I.
took a while to create that system, so there were
Okay,
plenty of
yeah, there were flaws in
arguments
arguments
already.
before
There were
then.
plenty of arguments beforehand. I wouldn't worry.
Yeah, but yeah, man, video games are so big. I think they're even a big time consumption for me now. It's just definitely not as much as it was in middle school, because middle school I didn't really talk to anybody. If I was talking to people, it was like on Skype. with like online friends. I wasn't talking to people around, Oakleaf, where I used to live.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
video games have always been a big thing for me too, and still are probably the number one thing I do to spend my time. But I don't really lose track of time in it. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
not anymore. Definitely not anymore. I feel like I'm paying a lot more attention to my time because it's like due dates for things, and I'm not
Yeah,
trying to lose track of myself. I want to, be able to keep myself in reality, what instead of just zoning fully out, because then you lose the hours in the day that you want to do other things.
as far as the video games that I have gotten like obsessed with or whatever, um, I have to go back to Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I
Yes.
played a lot of that with my brother. I played a lot of games with my siblings. We both played, or all three of us played. So I have a brother and a sister. We all three played a lot of Mario Kart Double Dash and Mario Party 4 and 7, both for the GameCube. So
Jeez.
we liked playing a lot of those games together. But then around fifth grade, I really got into Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I was even playing online and was like, I love both the zombies and multiplayer side of it.
Hmm.
Then after that, middle school hit and Geometry Dash took over everything.
I remember hearing about your
I it
fabled Geometry Dash.
I still play it every now and then. I have 1,500 hours on it on Steam.
Jeez,
And
dude,
I
that's
played it. I
crazy.
probably played it for a couple hundred hours before switching to Steam, just on my phone. So
Yeah. Would you say that's your most played game? What's your most played?
probably League of Legends is my most played, but
Mm,
they're very close.
it's hard for me to say because I have two game, or actually, now that I'm
You
thinking
have
about,
your Rainbow in League, right?
I'm right now. It's Rainbow in League. I, th- I After me telling you about Minecraft in middle school, I don't know how many hours I have on Minecraft. It's probably also up there.
I
Uh,
see.
but yeah, those three: Rainbow Six Siege, League of Legends, and Minecraft. What a trio to really think about. None of them have anything to do with each other.
No, one's
First person shooter,
a weird
MOBA,
MOBA,
and a
yeah, a
sandbox,
tactical shooter, and then
a survival
yeah, whatever the hell
sandbox.
Minecraft
Yeah,
is, survival sandbox.
it so there you. I'm just I don't know. I hop from game to game a lot. I have like an itch for different things, and I guess your Geometry Dash is also kind of my chess right now, because it's like I just really just enjoy playing it, and then but I think it's reviving for me right now because I used to love to play it, and then I stopped for like a couple of years, and now I'm getting back into it, and now I'm trying to relearn everything. So yeah, no, but yeah, definitely games. I think another big time consumption, by the way, if we want to start thinking of touching grass,
Oh
um,
yeah,
because I also want to get on that end because I want to convince people that I do indeed touch grass. Um, it was recess in school, just in general. Recess would go
hell
by in
yeah.
seconds, but definitely like those like I don't know if you did neighborhood like I don't know if you or the neighborhood kids would like hang out, but like I used to do
Hmm.
that, and those would like pass the time so much. We would play soccer at the town center, or whatever the town center is, with the pool and everything.
Oh yeah, like the amenity center with
Yeah,
like
the
the
many
huge fields.
senator in the fields.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we'd play like soccer there, flag football there. I was a menace at flag football. I probably suck right now because I have absolutely no physical part of me that like I'm not like I'm unfit. That's about it. I'm just not fit. I'm
out
not
of shape.
out of shape. Yeah, but overall, those physical activities are still fun to do. I just look goofy now doing them because I
Yeah,
haven't done them.
I want to do like a little club sport next semester, like in the fall.
That would be
I should have
fun.
done it this semester, but I was too, I don't know, lazy or apprehensive,
Which one
so
are you
I
thinking
never
about?
did. Honestly, I don't know. I think soccer would be fun. Flag football would be fun. I think a running club could be fun.
Running would be great. Flag football is just too fun. That's probably my favorite like sport that I've played. Flag football, because I don't know if where did because my parents like forced me into certain things, so I was forced to play flag football for a few seasons. Um,
I played flag football once when I was like on a team when I was 5 years old, and then I played 2 years of tackle football. Then I got more into running.
See, I never went into tackle. I think I'm too frail. But for flag football, see, I don't even know the positions of football. That's how bad I am. But I think it's called the wide receiver, the person
Okay.
that would go long.
Yeah. Yeah. You go long and catch the
Yeah,
passes.
I was always on offense as wide receiver for my flag
Okay.
football team because
That's a fun position.
oh, it's so much fun, dude. You have no idea how many ankles I broke. I would just make it look like I gave up for the ball and then I just go for it last second. It was so good. I loved playing wide receiver because the only two things I could do was run and catch. So I mean, at the end of the day, though, that's all you really need for football.
Yeah.
So
Well, it
yeah,
depends on your position, but
that yeah, it does depend on the position because you got to be strong as well for defense and stuff like that.
hmm
But yeah, that was good. Definitely unlocked a lot of memories that I certainly forgot about, especially like Little Big Planet and flag football. I never realized like how when looking back on it how much fun flag football was to me until I kind of gave up. But
I miss playing sports. Like you mentioned the neighborhood, and it made me think. I miss playing outside in the neighborhood with people.
I do too.
In elementary school, I did a lot with my brother and whatever neighborhood kids we found. I remember there's Josiah and Judah who we would play a lot with.
Mm-hmm.
And we always had a trampoline growing up too, so
Oh,
we would
bouncy
usually
around.
play like football or something, or wiffle ball, and then we'd hop on the trampoline for a while. That was always fun.
Yeah,
I love the trampoline, man.
trampolines are fun,
I,
bro. You got
I've, I've, s- I've,
we gotta go
I've,
to a
I think I've
trampoline park.
spent more hours on a trampoline than playing League of Legends or Geometry Dash.
Jeez, 2,000 hours,
I think I probably have 2,000 hours on
dude.
trampoline on
We should go to
Steam.
a trampoline park. I think that'd be fun.
That would be awesome.
So yeah, there we go. Now we got something else on the agenda maybe for the future. But speaking of the future, you see that transition? Uh,
Oh, that was clean.
thank you. We're gonna hop you into your future now, because
Awesome.
yeah, that was just solid conversation. I had a good time talking about that. But let's see what we think here on the future here. I want to hear your four fun predictions, and to provide some context. I feel like people are stressed. I It's just a ball of stress. Life is just a ball of stress. I feel like humans are just naturally stressed. You know, human.
Yeah,
It's just you can't avoid it.
we set goals and we
and
don't enjoy doing those goals, but it nags at us until we do those goals.
so it's just it's constant, and I feel like it's very hard to keep up with it sometimes, depending on who you are as a person.
hmm
Because if you're a very high setting person, you know your stress is going to be stacked a lot more when you're not doing it. So I wanted to know for you, my question to you is, what do you think is going to keep you going in the future? What's going to be able to like relieve that stress and make you keep going and pursuing what you're going for?
Ooh, that's a hard question. So, you mean like what will motivate me to keep working hard?
I would say not only motivate, but keep you motivated. So not only get the spark, but maintain the spark.
Hmm. I think I have a lot of ambitions, and
Hmm.
um, I just have a lot of things that I want to do and little skills to do them. So I want to learn to do as many of those things as I can.
So would you say curiosity, or is it just ambition?
Not just curiosity, but more like pride, I guess.
Pride. Okay, I like that.
I get proud of myself when I
Yeah.
make something cool. I
I,
go, oh
I,
my gosh, I can't believe I made this.
oh yeah. I agree with you 100%. I feel like, I don't know how many people aren't like that where they just don't feel proud of themselves when they like accomplish something. It's very hard to impress yourself, actually. Let's
hmm
start off with that. So when you actually do it, yeah, it's just a great feeling. So you just want to keep trying to see how far you can impress yourself. So I
And I
definitely
like
understand that.
impressing my family and close friends too.
Oh my god, yeah. It's uh, I feel like I love praise. I really do. I don't
Me
hunt.
too.
I just don't want to hunt for it too much, or else I feel like I'm pushing myself too hard, or I feel like I'm not pushing myself too hard, but like being needy or being, I don't know, like
Yeah,
self-centered. I don't want
yeah,
it
I
to come
know.
off
I
that way.
completely get what you're saying
Yeah,
because sometimes I even force myself to like almost not tell people my accomplishments because I have to like try and train myself that hey, uh, value comes from within. I should be proud of this without hearing,
hearing other
mom
people
and
say
dad
it.
say, "Oh, good
Yeah,
work," or things like
yeah.
that.
So it's learning about training all that kind of stuff
Hmm.
to make, because yeah, it's so true. It's just, if you're so happy about it, be happy, and you don't need to hear other people tell you to be happy. You're happy. But
I'd like to say I
it's
do
still
it all
nice.
just to impress myself, but I do a lot of it to impress family and friends.
I
So
do it so much to impress family and friends. I'm right in the
yeah.
same boat with you, man.
It's hard to find the balance though of how much is being like, you know, just focus on yourself all the time or how much of it is,
Is treat
oh, I
others
just
kind.
enjoy these
Yeah,
things and it's okay to be proud of it.
yeah. It's just, yeah. Life's just about balance, really. It's because everything is situational. You never
Hmm.
know really when it's appropriate to, like, I guess, call out your achievements like that. But because it's like, not there's I think there's some instances where I think it's like that's a little personal thing between you and yourself, where you're just like, I'm the man. And then you got like the other situations where it's like other people need to, because I feel like sometimes it needs to be recognized. I do argue that I feel like some instances need to be recognized because some people just don't recognize their potential. So
Yeah.
it's just, I feel like occasionally, it's situational, just the whole thing. It's just situational.
And people also like to be included in your accomplishments. It's not bragging if you just are letting people know that like obviously your mom and dad want to hear good news. They want to hear when you've done something good. So it's not bragging if you tell them, what you've
Yeah,
done because they want to be proud of you. They want to support you,
yeah.
you know.
I'm kind of in that boat, especially because my answer to this question, what I think will keep me going in the future, is definitely friends and family.
Mhm.
And I'm not even talking about current friends and family. I'm talking about even future friends and a future family that I'm hoping to make,
Mhm.
that I want to keep me to keep going. And what you just brought up there, where it's like, parents want to be proud of their child. I hope my child can open up to me and just still tell me, like, not even just the positives, but even the downsides. But like, I'm telling you right now, I'd be bragging the fuck out of the positives to the neighbors. My kid, I, I'm gonna be the dude that's like, my kid can beat up your kid.
Jeez.
Not really, but you know what I'm saying. I just I like I'll brag about my children because they're doing it for me. They're not for me, but like they're doing it, and while they're doing it, I'm just like, yeah, I'm raising this. And even the downsides, like I said, like I feel like when it comes to downsides, sometimes you need parental advice. Which, funny enough, when I express this, me myself, I'm bad at expressing my downsides with my family. I don't know how you are with it, but
I don't know.
because I don't know, I try, I definitely have been getting better at opening up to my mom about my downsides. My dad's a little bit more awkward because it's just, there's a communication barrier in terms of just location.
Mm,
Also,
yeah.
it's just, you know, I don't know. It's, I haven't talked to him that much to where it's like I want to open up. But he's a great man. I love that man to death. Like, I think when I get to visit him, when visits starting to become more frequent, um, I get to like talk to him properly and catch up with him, and actually like start to like get to know him again as my like father. I want to rebuild that relationship. I think I think I'd be able to open up to him just fine. But like as of right now, I still love the man to death, but right now it's just, there's still some growing that needs to be done, I think.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, cuz
Were you ever close with your dad as
Yeah,
far as, like, telling him about good if you had a bad day?
but in the past, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have.
But just because you guys haven't been chatting much, it's kinda been a little
It
more
it it it,
distant?
it feel yeah, it just feels distant because it is distant.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I want to like grow closer to him again. I want to not only recognize him as a dad, but recognize him as like a whole like person, like I do my mom. And I want to be able to
That
have those like kind of talks. But right now, I just want to get the connection first. You know, like a solid connection, and I think that's only going to happen when I actually make visits.
yeah, and I know what you mean because you haven't been able to see your dad much from what it sounds like recently, and I know with my own family, this is my first year not living in the home since I'm out of college. I definitely have to put an effort to maintain that relationship with my family. I have to, like, I play games online with my brother often. I visit home and see family often and chat with him. And when I'm over break with them, I definitely put in time with them. I don't just go home and then play games on my computer.
Hmm.
Um, I have to make sure to, like, text them about my day or, like, call them every now and then. It definitely takes effort to maintain that. Otherwise, it would be awkward if I tried to come to them with my problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean because I'm kind of going through it.
Yeah.
So,
No.
um, yeah, but I definitely think in my future, this is a prediction for myself and hopefully future me
All right.
is going for. I definitely think can predict that I'll have a healthy relationship with my dad. I think I currently have a
Good.
fine relationship. Like I have no beef.
There's no bad blood.
There is
You guys
no
just
bad
haven't.
blood with that
Yeah, you
man.
guys just don't talk too much.
It's just because yeah, because of the fact that it's just he's so far.
Yeah.
So and I'm not a phone caller. I've already brought that up to him. That's something I've expressed. I'm not. I don't like the phone call. Like
Is
I'll
it
talk
hard
to.
for you to focus over the phone,
Yes, it's
or
hard for me not only to focus but to like. I don't know. I just don't like communicating through the phone. I feel like there's just a lot of like language that's being missed, even though it's like you're still speaking.
I prefer in-person communication,
Yeah.
and
So
I definitely have a lower I don't know, attention span over the phone.
yeah, definitely. Because especially because another thing is like the times he will call are usually I'm busy either doing homework or maybe I'm like with friends and doing a hangout. So it's like I like my attention span's already none because you know it's like
Mhm.
I'm with everybody else right now. It's like my focus is already set on something.
Yeah.
So yeah, and my dad's speech pattern is very that man can go on for hours. He can
Do
go
you mean,
on
like, without getting a breath out or, like
like he can just he's really good at just talking, but I think the
not so great on the feedback part?
no, so here because I know the thing is I'm like trying to like this is something I'm really thinking about how to word because I know
Okay.
my dad watches this too. So if he does listen to this, I want him to know from me like I'm not afraid to hide this kind of information. My dad is really good at talking about things. I don't think he's good at actually yeah, you're kind of right. He's not good at listening to what the other person has to say.
Okay.
He's a good talker. He's just not a like fully there kind of listener. I feel like when it comes to listening, he'll grab bits and pieces and I can tell he's trying. I just don't think he's really he just hasn't gotten the hang of it. Cuz it's like I try
There
cuz
are people in my family like that too.
yeah, where it's like I'll try and tell him about something, but then I have to like repeat myself on certain things, or he misses the message that I'm trying to send him completely, and he goes off onto some other talk that kind
Mhm.
of relates to mine, and then I just don't get to speak for the next 5 minutes because he's telling me something.
I have to try and catch myself from doing that, myself sometimes,
Hmm.
because if I'm talking to someone, sometimes I'll have an idea of what I want to say, and I get so focused on preparing how I'm going to say that to the person
That you lose what
that
they're saying.
I lose track of what they're saying. So
Yeah.
I've realized that more in the past year or 2. So sometimes if I catch myself doing that, I force myself not to say that sentence unless I really think it's important. I
Yeah.
force myself to forget it and just nope, go back to listening. And if
That
something comes up naturally, it comes up.
it comes up. Yeah. I'm definitely also trying to figure that out because I definitely am a rambler.
It's
I
hard.
Yeah, it is because there's so much you want to say, so much you want to get out, but you gotta. It's just remembering that a conversation is 50-50. You got to remember, two people, you each share the same amount of time in a conversation.
Yes.
There are situations. Like everything else is situational. There can be situations like like if you're taking a therapist job, one person, the whole conversation is literally one person ranting to the other. That's venting. You'll figure out what the conversation is supposed to be, and then from there you can distinguish how much one person to how much the other person should be talking. But I'm talking about 50-50 conversations because I just ramble.
Yeah.
So just so but yeah, you know dad and anybody else who's listening to this, it's like I no bad blood. I love everybody. I love you. I really wish that our conversations could be more evenly split, because he'll ask me questions, and it's good. Like that's a good way to keep a conversation alive, but it's like
Hmm.
after I respond, it's like it goes under the same trap. Like when I respond to something, he'll go on like a 5 minute ramble about about my answer, and it'll either be like advice or it'll be like a concern, and I'm just like, Dad, I just want to talk. I just like, let's not stick
And
on one thing for too long. I
to
just
you, does it seem like something he had already prepared beforehand?
Yes, it feels like he's about to
Okay.
show up a presentation. So
I know what you mean.
yeah, it there's some things that I think, it's just, I'm hoping I can get better at conversation with them. That's really what I'm hoping for. And then, but yeah, so passion and family and friends. That's what I've gathered from this,
Yeah,
because
I definitely have goals for myself and real answers. And so my real answers of how I lose track of time and are uh, playing video games, going outside, blah 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 blah. Or my real answers for what keeps me going in the future is making my friends and family happy and proud of me. But the answers that I strive to have are, oh, doing creative things, or oh, making myself proud.
yeah, more selfish tendencies, and I think that's completely fine. I think it's okay for people to be selfish. It's your life, you live it.
Well, it's not just selfish, but it's like,
Well,
um,
it's just, it comes with it. It's not. I'm not. It's not even like I wouldn't even use it in like a negative term. If that makes sense, I wouldn't use it in that like negative type of tone, because I feel like everybody has to be a little bit selfish. So
yeah, but also, I don't know. I've never done a podcast before like this, but this is really fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Um, but it's hard with these questions answering with what I think, the ideal Caden would be like, and what is the truth. And so I kind of have to go back and revise my answers as I talk more and more.
So you know what the cool thing is that this will be up on YouTube, and you can just look back at how you answered these questions, and then maybe you can think on it a little bit more if you whenever you look back on
I think I'm doing that already.
them. So yeah, there you go. They'll be stuck on the internet, baby. They ain't leaving. So,
Oh yeah, I will watch this.
dude, I'm gonna be watching these like after like months. I've actually already started watching some of them like a little bit back because
When did you start your first one?
Christmas, the weekend of Christmas,
Okay.
because
I
that's
think
when I
I
got my
I think
microphone.
after seeing what this is about, I may go back and watch other people's because I want to see if they answered as arrogantly as I did. You know what I mean? No, I'm kidding. But
I
I am no, I do want to see other people's answers. I am genuinely
Yeah, that's
curious on how everyone loses track of time and how we all communicate and blah blah. You know?
well. The thing is, I asked people different questions. These were just your questions, my friend.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
but I will tell you a little thing from behind the scenes. I think the first 5 episodes, probably maybe less. They're also quiet. My first episodes are quiet, unfortunately. Episode 2, I could barely hear myself. I definitely want to try and see if I can go back and fix that, but I don't think I can. I might be able to, but I don't know. Episode 2 is definitely really quiet, unfortunately. But those episodes still, they all have the same pattern where I was just like, hey, do you want to come on? And then I never gave them the questions. I'd ask them it like on the spot.
Okay.
And so
Well, that's okay though,
it
if
is
they don't think about it.
it is, but then the like last I want to say like 7 guests that I've brought on, I've like let them know a heads up like, hey, if you want to think about this a little bit so that you can have a proper answer, you can go for it.
I see.
So yeah, and that's just how I've been doing it. But yeah, thanks for coming on. It's been really fun to talk to you about these kind of things. How'd you how so you yeah, we already got your opinion on how you enjoyed it. I'm glad you did because yeah, I definitely enjoyed doing this project. It's been really fun. It's been going on for yeah, like I said, since the weekend of Christmas of 2020, right? No,
You've been doing it
2021.
every week, every 2 weeks.
Every week. It's been a weekly thing. I've been going. This is the 13th week strong.
Jeez.
I've been trying my best.
Where do you edit these any?
A
Or
little
do you
bit.
put them in a program?
Very little. Very
What
little
program do you use?
editing. I use an editor called VideoPad Editor, but
Video what?
VideoPad Editor.
Okay, I've never heard of that.
It's not like anything like super cool or super niche. It's like it gets the job done because at the end of the day, all I do is like put a picture up, and then I maybe cut out some errors or mistakes. Like another behind the scenes thing was like one of my interviews. My roommate Jalen, who was in a previous episode, walked in, so I had to like edit that out. So there's like little like edits. Most of the editing though comes in like the YouTube itself because I like make chapters so that people know how long we're talking about a question for.
Hmm,
But other than that, yeah, no, not much editing. Also music, but like that's just my intro music and that's about it. And by mine, I
cool.
mean it's not mine. It's just a really nice song.
Okay.
So yeah. But thank you so much for coming on. One last thing I like to do with my guests is I like giving 2 messages out to them. So if you want to give a message out to anybody or everybody in who's watching, and then if you want to give a message to your future self.
Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah. You got a little bit of time to think though. It's okay. But yeah, once that goes on, we'll end it there.
To everyone who's watching, hello, I'm Caden. I'm Ozzy's good friend and roommate.
Yes. I approve. I agree.
You confirm that I
Yeah.
am your good friend and roommate.
He does in fact live in my walls, and I live in his respectively. Now it's
Well,
now it's the important
I-
part.
the message for myself.
Yeah, what's past Caden gonna say to future Caden?
Ask Caden. Uh, oh, jeez.
You know,
Ask Caden. Don't be afraid to explore your interests. If you're interested in something, go ahead and do it. You don't need to start out and be a pro at everything.
that's a
It's okay. It's okay to be new to things because I forget that a lot, and I wish I was better at that.
so there you go, future Caden. Whenever you're looking back on this,
Yeah,
there you go.
it's okay. It's okay to be terrible when you're starting something
That's very sweet. I like that. That's a really good
instead of
message.
being too embarrassed to start.
That's got to be like one of my favorite messages that somebody's given to themselves. I like that.
Yippee!
But yeah, thank you everybody for listening in. This has been Memory Bank episode 13, and I'll see you all next week.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.